we got some breaking news, champs. Terence Crawford just tweeted that him and Canelo Alvarez is the biggest fight in boxing right now, whether you like it or not, and these are just facts. He also said that he is not scared and he most definitely believes in himself, even though nobody else does. He also states that he's gonna go Super Saiyan Blue Ultra Instinct on Canelo. I do believe these are very bold statements, and I also know they made weight classes for a reason. That way boxers don't ruin their career or their health. And this is the topic that we are going to be talking about next. But before we get into that, if you guys are not subscribed, please punch and knock out that subscription button. That way you'll never see it again. And ding the notification bell. That way you'll never miss any of my new boxing videos. Alright guys, let's get to the round. Ding ding. Okay champs, let's get started. As we all know, Terence Crawford has not had a fight since he beat up Errol Spence last year. And that fight was one of the biggest, most anticipated fights since Mayweather versus Pacquiao. It did not sell nearly as much as Mayweather versus Pacquiao, but for skill versus skill, it was the same. But as we all know, Terence Crawford and Errol Spence had a rematch clause in that contract. But a lot of people don't even want to see the rematch, just the way Errol Spence lost. Errol Spence received a one-sided A-whooping. The fight was not even close. And I gave Terence Crawford every single round. Errol Spence did not even have good moments in that fight. And after the fight, it seemed like Errol Spence wanted an immediate rematch by December. But as time went by, it just seemed like Errol Spence kept dragging the fight longer. And it just seemed that he wasn't getting prepared for a rematch. And he looked out of shape and was just traveling the world. He was out of the picture for a while and did not even post anything on social media. Then just a little while ago, he posted, "I'm back." And he barely posted a video of him coming out of the hospital and stating that he just got cataract surgery. And he also stated that he needed that surgery for the first fight versus Crawford. He said that he could not see and he kept getting hit with left jabs. He also stated that he was not living a boxer's lifestyle, and that is when he started making excuses. But that was not like Errol Spence. He never made excuses before. So Terence Crawford got fed up and stated that there will be no more rematch, and Errol Spence just simply made too many excuses. He stated that he is moving on with his career, but he wishes Errol Spence the best of luck. By saying that, I believe Terence Crawford was just being nice and waiting for Errol Spence to get better for the rematch. But when Errol Spence started making excuses, he probably said, "Screw this, I ain't gotta do ish." It's downplaying my victory and my accomplishment. Errol Spence mentioned, "Quit being emotional and let's run it back." And we for sure know the rematch is not going to happen because Michael Benson put out a report from Don Rafael stated that the rematch between Errol Spence and Terence Crawford is not going to happen because of many reasons. But the main reason is that Errol Spence just got cataract surgery. Can think of two reasons why Errol Spence waited so long to get the cataract surgery. He waited almost half a year, and I believe that's an excuse for him to get out of the rematch because it does take several months to recover from cataract surgery, and that is just to recover. I'm sure he's not going to be training while recovering from cataract surgery. So after he recovers, he will still have to train after that, and you need a 3-month camp to fight a caliber of Terence Crawford. Either that or Errol Spence is just a procrastinator and he just waited last minute to get the surgery. He probably didn't count on Terence Crawford not wanting the fight because that fight did make a lot of money. But the thing is, the rematch will be a hard sell because nobody wants to pay for it. Either way, we know the fight is not going to happen. So this leaves Terence Crawford to move on with his career. And I remember he did an interview before stating that he is willing to fight Canelo at a catchweight. But Canelo stated that he will not do a catchweight, and if he wants to smoke, he has to go up to 168. So later on, Terence Crawford stated in a different interview he says, you know what? I can move up to 168 and fight Canelo. He stated he will be the first boxer in boxing history to do that. But then Canelo said in a different interview that Terence Crawford was too small and he will not get any credit for beating Terence Crawford, the same way that Terence Crawford will not get any credit for beating Tank. But then Canelo changed his mind and he said in a different interview, you know what? That fight is not really off the table. If the fight makes sense, we can probably make it happen. But as of now, he is not in the plans. So all of this leaded to what Crawford tweeted just today. He said, Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford is the biggest fight in boxing right now. Like it or not, it's just facts. I am not scared and I most definitely believe in myself, even if nobody else believes in me. Then he adds, I'ma go Super Saiyan Blue Ultra Instinct on Canelo. And Terence Crawford was also asked by a fan. The fan says, you know what? Everybody wants you to fight Boots. And Terence Crawford responds, whoever wants me to fight Boots got to cut the check and I will fight Boots. So that means Terence Crawford wants a lot of money to fight Boots. So Mr. Saudi Arabia, Turkey Al-Sheikh, I'm sure he wants to see this fight as well. And I'm sure he can make Terence Crawford versus Boots a big fight. And he will give Terence Crawford the money he wants for the fight. But if I was Terence Crawford, I will fight Boots. I will not fight Canelo. Because there are weight classes for a reason. JERMELL CHARLO is bigger than Crawford and he has a bigger frame than Crawford does. And CHARLO still look a lot smaller than Canelo did. Let me tell you like this. Imagine Terence Crawford coming in at 147 versus Errol Spence. Now keep that picture in your mind. Now add 21 pounds on Terence Crawford's frame. How do you think he would look with 21 more pounds on him? What would you guys add? 21 pounds of fat or muscle or a mixture of both? But in Terence Crawford's defense, I believe he is more skilled than CHARLO, and I do believe skills pay the bills. But Canelo ain't no jabroni, he got skills too. And I don't care how big and skilled a lion is when you're fighting a rhino. Crawford can go Super Saiyan Blue Ultra Instinct and still lose to Canelo. You know what? Crawford can fuse with Errol Spence Jr. and he will still lose to Canelo. But Terence Crawford said he is not CHARLO, and he said that CHARLO just went in there for the payday. CHARLO went in there with the mindset of just not getting stopped, not winning. Terence Crawford says that he has his mindset of beating Canelo. I know they're both 5'8" and they're the same height, but I believe Canelo will be able to take Terence Crawford's hardest punches. He took Triple G's and Bebo's hardest punches, but I do not believe Terence Crawford will be able to take Canelo's hardest punches. Canelo will ruin Terence Crawford's career. Terence Crawford is a great fighter at 147, but at 168, he is not going to be the same fighter. Imagine Terence Crawford competing at 147, but he puts in a 21 weight vest on. He will not move the same. What do you guys think? Terence Crawford has a shot versus Canelo, or it's just a weight mismatch? Comment below and I'll write to everyone back. If you guys like the show, like the video, share the video, subscribe, and that's it for me, champs. I gotta roll.
I shook up the world! I shook up the world! I shook up the world!